Welcome back. In this tutorial, we're just going to go over graphing patterns on the coordinate plane. Uh, Basically, it's taking information from a question, turning it into a table. With that table, we'll find our coordinate pairs, and then we'll be able to graph all the points on the coordinate plane. They might also have us work backwards, so we'll have to know how to look at a graph, find the points, figure out what coordinate pairs those are, and turn it back into a table. So we're going to do both ways just in case. Just real quick, figuring out what a pattern is. A pattern is just a sequence of numbers, and all of the numbers in that pattern are called a term, or they are terms. So for this question, Speedy Cab charges $2 per mile traveled, while Purple Cab charges $4 per mile traveled. We need to find the costs of traveling 1, 2, 3, and 4 miles for both cab companies, then graph the results as ordered pairs. So we have Speedy Cab, which is the first table that was given. And for Speedy Cab, we already know Speedy Cab charges $2 per mile. So if we were traveling 1 mile, the cost would be $2. If we travel 2 miles, the cost would be 4. Travel 3 miles, it would be 6, and for 4 miles, it would be 8. For Purple Cab, we know that Purple Cab charges $4 per mile. So for the table, if we traveled 1 mile with Purple Cab, that would cost $4. 2 miles would be 8. 3 miles would be 12, and 4 miles would be 16. So we've created our table with the information given. Now we can take our table for Speedy Cab, and we can look at the numbers and turn them into coordinate pairs. So my first coordinate pair would be 1, 2, because for 1 mile traveled, it would cost $2. My next coordinate pair would be 2, 4. I'm getting all my information directly from the table. I'm using the two numbers. The top number is going to be my x. The bottom number is going to be my y. So the last one for Speedy Cab is 4, 8. Now I have all my coordinate pairs from that table for Speedy Cab. So I'm going to move on to Purple Cab. So for Purple Cab, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get all of our coordinate pairs. 1, 4, 2, 8, 3, 12, and last one is going to be 4, 16. What we're going to do with those coordinate pairs now is graph them and make a line for Speedy Cab and make a line for Purple Cab. So Speedy Cab, the first point that we need to draw is 1, 2. So we're going to start off with the origin, go over to 1 and up to 2. We learned how to do this on the previous tutorial. My second point is going to be 2, 4, over 2 up 4. Third point is 3, 6, over 3 up 6. And my last one is going to be over 4 up 8. So we have created the line for Speedy Cab. I'm going to label it ST for Speedy Cab. Last part, we're going to look at Purple Cab and graph their points. So the first point is going to be 1, 4. Second one is 2, 8. Third one is 3, 12. And my last one is 4, 16. Make a straight line through those points, and that is my Purple Cab. The next question, we're doing the opposite. We have the graph, shows all of the points. We have to find out what the coordinate pairs are for each point and turn it into a table. So we have a graph that shows the cost of buying t-shirts in packs of 3. We do want to identify the relationship between the cost of t-shirts and the number of t-shirts, figure out the order pairs, and create a table using it. So for my points, I have the very first point, which is at the bottom. We always want to start at the bottom. And this point looks like it's at 3, 15. So we have the point 315 for our first coordinate pair. My second coordinate pair is at the point 630. My third point is at 945. Next point is at 1260. And that last point at the top is at 1575. So I've identified all the points that I had on my graph. I can take all of those points and start moving them onto the table. I do need to remember, though, is that the first number in my coordinate pair is always my x. The second number is always going to be my y value. When we're creating our table, we always want to make sure that the x, the value of the x goes on top, and the value of the y goes on the bottom. Because I have x on top and x is labeled number of shirts, I want to make sure that number of t-shirts is labeled on my table, and y has to be on the bottom, and the y-axis has to deal with cost. So I want the y to show that it's labeled as cost. So my first point was 315. 3 is my x, and 15 is my y. All right, so we're done with our first point. We're going to move on to the second point, is 630. I know 6 is my x, 30 is my y. Again, we're just going to keep going through. 945. My next one's going to be 1260. And the last one's going to be 1575. So at this, we have taken the information from our graph, turned it into coordinate pairs, and put it into a table. We could follow the sequence and extend it if we needed to. They're looking for the relationship between the two. So to find the relationship, you're looking at the x values, and you're looking at the y values, and trying to see how you get from x to y and make sure it happens every single time. So to get from 3 to 15, I can multiply by 5. And I want to make sure I can do that every single time here. 6 times 5 would give me 30. 9 times 5 would give me 45. 12 times 5 is 60, and 15 times 5 is going to give me 75. So we have answered their question is the relationship x is, or y is 5 times the amount of x. Thank you for tuning in. Hope to have you come back again and learn a little bit more on 5th grade.